What up, YouTube? Cowboys81 back again with another YouTube video. Today, special treat. We got Cowgirl81 with you. Gonna be showing you how to do an online submission to get your cards graded. Cowgirl81, take it over.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here. So we're going to do our online submission for our cards. Just go to PSAcard.com. You start your submission, scroll down a little bit, and you start to build your submission. For this purposes, I am going to delete my incomplete PSA submission, and we're going to start brand new so you can see. So the first step is to choose the item type. You see there are different types that you choose from, and depending on your card, you should measure and see where they go. Like I noticed that with the booklet, like this one, it would fit under supersized cards, and for regular or thick size, it would be the regular one, and see the thick patch can go on that one too. If you press next, it would take you to the submission type, and during the submission type there are different submission types. So there's grading, and that's if you're grading something new. Review is if you already graded something but you don't agree with it. Crossover is if you wanted to get something that has already been graded, but you want PSA to grade it. And I'm not sure what reholder is. That's something you're going to have to find out, but it's not something I'm going to use. So today we're going to be doing grading, and since I have some free vouchers, I'm going to go ahead and use them. So one great thing about PSA is that they have a dual service, and we will be doing the dual service card and autograph grade. So we're going to click on dual service, and then you just press on next. Step 3 is the service level. So I just wanted to clarify with you guys. The reason why we have 15 free submissions is because we started a subscription with PSA. And there's 2 different levels that you can choose from. There's like the first one you can submit 6, the second one you submit 15, and we chose the 15. We thought it was worth, we thought it was a good deal. And so with the free submissions, the max declared value per item can only be $499 or less. So we're going to go ahead and just press next. This brings us to item entry, step 4. And what you want to do is you want to enter the year, the quantity, and then for the description, you want to start with the year, the player, and the manufacturer. So I'm going to do the 2016 draft day signatures of Ezekiel Elliott. And so I start typing it in. And the best thing about doing this online is that different items pop up. And more than likely, you should be able to find what you're looking for. So then you have the minimum grade, and if you have a question about what this means, there's a little question mark. So it's really important that if you don't want them to grade your card because you don't want a 6 or lower, you put 6 in it. But if you want your card graded no matter what, just leave it empty. Okay. If you put a 5 on there and your card was graded at a 4, they won't grade it. They'll just send it back to you. And then the autograph minimum grade is the same thing. Then you would go for the declared value total. And what you want to do is you want to go to eBay or you want to go to, they have a certain site that you can use, the SMR, that you can go to, and you can find your cards, their card pricing, and then compare it to what you have. Easiest to do is to go to eBay because it's very quick. You can find signatures and you can compare it with them. It's important that you do an educated guess, because if you declare that your item is only $499 and they find that it's worth $600, they may not grade it, or they would charge you a fee. So for our sake, because it's his draft day signatures, we're just gonna go ahead and put $300 on there. The no qualifiers, this is really important for you to know as well. If you have a card that has significant flaws, like off center, and you don't want them to grade it and then put the OC on it, you would automatically, if you click it, you would say that you are willing to take a lower grade, so a straight 6 instead of an 8 off centered. And since Zeke is not off-centered, we're not going to click that. We want to add the signature name of the player. Ezekiel Elliott. We're going to press add. And then you can also put a note on there. Return 1 touch. And you save it. Okay, so now we're going to do the dual signature one by Brett Farr and Antonio Freeman. So same thing, quantity and description. Here goes, and oh no, it's not there. So now what do? We can just go to the next thing. So we're not gonna worry about the minimum grade for the card or the auto. We're gonna look at the declared value, and for that we're gonna go, hey, look, here are some prices. So we're gonna go right in between, between $499.5 and $250. So we're gonna go and maybe say $350 since it's a dual signature. Yeah, I think that sounds good. PSA won't get mad about that. So I'm gonna do $350, and then we want to add the signatures. So we're gonna write Brett Farr. Now that's one signature, and you add that one, and then you add a new signature, which would be Antonio Freeman. You add the second signature, note, return 1 touch, and we save it, and it goes into the description. So if you write down the name and it doesn't pop up, it's okay, you are safe. You can keep what you've written. Hey everyone, so for the purpose of saving time, we went online, we did the subscription. After you do that, after you have entered all of your cards into the program, you would press next. That then will lead you to another page in which you would put in your credit card. Make sure that your return address is accurate. And just to let you guys know that PSA does not automatically take that money out of your account. They wait until your stuff gets to them, and then they will grade it. When that is completed, it will generate 4 copies of the receipt. The first 3 goes to PSA, and you need to be very careful because on the top, it'll have the customer copy, while the other 3 will have PSA copy 1, PSA copy 2, and PSA copy 3. and this will pop up. So I did already went in and I created 4 different submissions, because you have to do a different submission for each different type of grading that you want. So for our dual grading, I did 4, generated 4. And then what you want to do next is you want to make sure that you have your submission summary, and then you look at the line numbers. And I'll show you why that's important later when we do the PSA shipping guidelines. So then I did one for, of course, the dual signature. And I did one for supersized card for the Ezekiel Elliott Panini Preferred booklet. My third submission form was just the card grading. Now, I didn't show you the how the site would look like, but everything would be the same as it was for the dual signature, except that it won't ask you for a signature name, and it doesn't ask you for the minimum grade for an auto. So those things would just be gone, and it would be the same thing. It's a different submission summary because it's a different submission, and then it has your whatever you decided that you want to turn in and your estimated value. And then, of course, this one as well. I just want to note that there are 2 different submissions that I did for just card grading. But the reason I did that is because our cards are thick, and because of the shipping guidelines, I didn't want to put a rubber band over so many amounts of cards. So thanks for watching. I hope this helped you guys with at least the online submission. And right after this, if you stay tuned, I will go over the PSA shipping guidelines, because there is some omissions about it, just because their directions show you how to submit thin cards, but they don't talk about thick cards, and we are submitting all thick cards. So stay tuned. Hi guys, I'm back from that short break. Thanks for coming back or staying tuned to watch the rest of this video. I know sometimes it can get a little long, but we wanted to make sure to talk about the PSA shipping guidelines. So some things you are going to need is the labels. I use the address labels from Avery, and I like them Avery because you can easily download their pre-made templates, and so you can type it on, you can download it and type it on Word, or you can type it on their website, and then you can just print it. And then, of course, the things for your boxes. Now, this is not something that PSA say that you have to put on your box. It's just, I know that the cards we are turning in to be graded are important to us. So I just like to pick this up and put it on. The 25 days service turnaround, and then of course the address shipping label. So I'm just going to move that right to the side. You are going to need your submission forms. These are your submission forms. This is my copy, but they have their copies that you have to send to them. You will also need a bubble wrap or any type of foam to put in your box. You're going to need cardboard, as well as rubber bands, and of course your card saver penny sleeve. Or if you're going with the thicker version, you're gonna need your one touches, and we'll go into that detail in a little bit here, okay? All right, before I go into the PowerPoint, I just want to thank Cowgirl81's for inviting me. We love the Cowboys. Like he said, we live in Minnesota. We do appreciate the Vikings, but we love the Cowboys. So here is the PSA shipping guidelines. But before we move further, I just want to say that all the informations and directions and some of the pictures were taken straight from PSAcard.com from the shipping guide. Well, most of the pictures. And then some of the pictures that are not a part of from PSAcard.com, we got from Google.com in images. So just to let you guys know, these are not something that we made up. These are not pictures that we created. It's items that we got all online. So we're going to go ahead and go to step 1. So PSA on their website, their step 1 talks about getting your cards prepared to be shipped. The only thing that we found was that there wasn't a particular explanation on how to send in thick cards. So I had to call customer service to figure that piece out. But if you're sending a thin card, all you need is your penny sleeve. If you want to, you can put it in a penny sleeve to protect your card better, and then put it in a card saver. Now it has to be the flexible and type, because it'll hold your card in place and it won't move when you're shipping it, but it'll be easy for them to pull it out to not ruin your cards, okay? So that's really important to know. And then our one touches are here. It's important to note that PSA does not take acrylic snap cases, top loaders, and screw down holders. And the reason for that, I believe, is because your cards are not securely in place and it's being shipped, and it can ruin your cards before you get to them, or they just don't accept it. I'm not sure if they would not grade it, because I've never turned it in that way before. So I would strictly stick to their guideline, because they do sometimes will ship items back without being graded, okay? So step 2 is really important. This is where the labels come in. So we are going to look at our dual grading ones, right? So this is the first one we did on our video, and so it has our summary, our submission summary, and then on the next page you see the line numbers. So the first one is Zeke, so I will put the submission number and then the line number. Submission number, line number, and that just continues until you have all of your numbers and you match them all. And it's a very good idea to place them in the correct order. The PSA does claim that if it doesn't come in order, that it might take longer to for you to receive your items, okay? And note, if you have multiple cards of the same card, so example right here, and it was on the second line, then you would do the submission number, the line number, and then the 1, and then line number 2, and then line number 2, and this is a third one. So you just have to make sure you put that dash in there, and the card quantity on the side of that card. So this is if you have 3 of the same cards. 1, 2, 3. Everything else should be the same. So step 3, you are going to need, so I have them in order, and because this is their guideline, I know these are top loaders and it may seem redundant that I am going to put a card on them and rubber band because it is not a card saver, but I'm not one to argue with PSA. I want my cards graded. So here I go. You're going to take the 2 cards. You're going to put one on top and one on the bottom. I try to cut out these rectangles. You're going to put your rubber band over. Now, they suggest that you do not put the rubber bands on too tight to hurt your cards. I think that if I put it real tight, it wouldn't because it's a touch one, but we're still going to follow their guideline. So before we move on, I want to, this is not part of the step, but don't forget, it is not in PSA's shipping information. Don't forget to put your form in your box before you ship it off. Okay? So make sure you have your forms handy and ready to go. So step 4 would be the bubble wrap or the foam that you put in it. I like the bubble wrap. So you just take this handy dandy bubble wrap and you wrap it around your cards. I like to fold it in like an egg roll. You bet, I'm Asian. Best egg roll maker in the whole world. There we go. Let me put it on pause and get my tape. We need tape. So what I like to do is I like to fold it in and then tape it. I like to fold it in and tape it. Let me put my chair back, I'm sorry. And I just kind of fold it in and then bring it down and then I tape it. PSA does say that if you use foam or styrofoam pellets to pack the items, please be sure the items are kept together in some manner so they are not scattered about the box when it opens. And please don't pack your box too tight. That can ruin your cards. Now, this is just for my purposes. PSA does not say that you have to do this, but what I like to do is, because they are in that bubble wrap, I like to look at the submission summary, and then what I do is 1, 4, 5, 3, 4, 4. I put it right. I like to put it right in the front so that I know exactly where it is, and this is just for my preference. And I just stick it right there, and then it goes with the right papers. Okay. And then you put it in the box. If your box is not, if your items can still move around, you have to make sure that you kind of fill it in, but not too tight, okay? Now let me get the others ready, and then we'll go move on to the next one with the box. Right, so I am done with bubbling everything, and so I have, now this is just for my purpose. This isn't anything that PSA say you have to do, but I like putting the submission number on the outside so I know what goes with what, and then on the outside of the paper so I can have them together. I like to package them together here. Here we go. And then you just put it in the box. Now, for, I understand that this can get very pricey on top of what you would pay per card. So, if you do a regular one like this, you would be paying 20 bucks per card. But lucky we had those free subscription turn-in, those 15. So we are only paying for the return shipping. Now with each submission, it has you put in your card, and it shows your fee, but they don't charge anything, and it is since I'm shipping less than 20 cards, it would be one fee, okay? Even though you put it in 4 times. So in these goes, I was just telling Cowgirl81's that all of my ordering from Amazon didn't go to waste, because I have a bunch of boxes now to use for the shipments. That's our little inside joke. If you have somebody who likes deals, you would understand too. So I'm going to move the box over, and I'm going to move the camera up so you can see what I'm doing. So here we go. I was going to try to use this box, but it was too small. Even though there's room in here, you can get other items. And another item that I like to sometimes keep is sometimes when you order items, they have these little air cups, right? And you just kind of stick it right in to kind of fill in those gaps. And then I just take the extra bubble wrap and I put it right in there. If you are like Cowgirl81 and you have lots of subscriptions to different types of monthly boxes, you can always save those foam. And then a real good tip as well is that you can request for your top loaders back, and they're usually really nice and they return them. So I put it in all of my submissions, but I like writing a little note, you know. I contacted their customer service. We appreciate your help and support. Have a great day. Sincerely, us. And then I just kind of stick it right in there. There we go. And then we are going to put it together to mail. So one really important note, when you're reusing a used box, make sure that you definitely take off all of your mail stickers that was sent to you. For me, what I like to do sometimes is if I can't take it off, I just put another label underneath it. Another label underneath it like that before I put on the label. And then of course my fragile handiwork here. It's never enough of those. And then, whoops, sorry guys. Don't forget your return day service, okay? So for the return day service, you write it right on the side, and let me move that in closer. So you have to clearly mark the turnaround time. So that's the turnaround time. on the outside of the package. This will expedite the process of your order. If you have multiple services in one box, please mark the outside of the box with the fastest turnaround time. Now, if you went online to their website, it would say that for regular cards with the maximum price of $4.99 would be 40 days of the turnaround. However, when you put in your submissions, they give you estimated service level. So this is 40 business days. But I have one that says estimated 25 business days. So this is the earliest one. So that is the one I'm going to put on the outside. Make sure you are sending your cards to the right place. On their website, it does show you where you send different things. For us, we will be sending it to, of course, the first one. We're using USPS. So if you're worried and you're ready to ship it off, just keep calm and insure your cards, because they are important to you, and they're important to the person you might want to give it to or might want to sell it to. There is a total declared value and the insurance amount per item for the domestic return shipping. So as you can see, when you are looking at my forms, for each different one, it says about $14, right? But then if you look at the 9 to 25 cards and the insurance things, the return one would probably be about $35. But I'm assuming that because after they get graded, they become, their value is supposed to increase. They'll just let you know on those return dates. So thank you for watching the video. Please visit us at YouTube. You can go to Cowgirl81's, and if you would like, you can go visit our eBay store at irishcardhub_9. Please make sure to like and share. Thumbs up. Subscribe and ring that bell to get notifications. Thank you. And as always, go Cowboys.